The SEC was denied once again by Judge Sarah Netburn in what could be the final and the biggest blow to the SEC's case against Ripple. Over the weekend, Sarah Netburn denied a huge motion that the SEC was hoping it would bolster their defense against Ripple and claiming that the sale of XRP years ago is actually a securities fraud. So what did Ripple actually win, and why is it so big to their case compared to some of the other legal victories they've had in the past couple of months? And so in this video, I'm going to review just that and what that could be shaping up for the near term in terms of what Ripple is doing and a potential price breakout for XRP with multiple factors coming into play. I'm also going to review what outside legal counsel has actually said about this most recent development in this case of the SEC versus Ripple, and why some of them are thinking that this could be the final blow. So what could happen? Is there going to be a settlement? Is it actually going to be an outright victory for Ripple? Are they going to be seeking that regulatory clarity that CEO Brad Carlinghouse has actually said he's been after for all this time? So we're going to break into that in this video, as well as what XRP could be, as well as a few others in terms of potential price based on the upcoming super cycle that Dan Held now believes is coming. Now, Dan Held, in case you didn't know who he is actually a big-time player in the crypto market that coined the phrase SUPERCYCLE. What he thinks Bitcoin and the crypto market as a whole is going to be doing in the next 4, 8, even 12 months, and why he's backed up by some of the biggest players in crypto. So we're going to talk about what kind of price points we're looking at in terms of the next 4, 8 to 12 months of this Bitcoin super cycle, and is it actually going to lead to the rest of the altcoins having their own super cycle? Now, Ripple just put out a few days ago an announcement that they want to be carbon neutral by 2030. We're going to talk about some plans that they think they're going to do to actually get there, and what that might actually do in terms of positioning them as the go-to cryptocurrency for a bunch of CBDCs. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. On this channel, I am covering the SEC versus Ripple case, as well as other cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any of those topics interest you, go ahead, click the subscribe button. Don't forget to tap the bell notification icon. That way, YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video. And if you're feeling really generous, I'd really appreciate a big thumbs up. It really helps out with a YouTube channel like this, and basically just tells YouTube to share this video with other audiences. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, well, let's jump into it. Now, Ripple has said for some time now that its ultimate goal is to go IPO, is to go public. And some of the things that they're doing, in my opinion, is basically backing themselves up, making themselves look in as positive of a light as possible, not just by the general public, not just by potential investors, but actually by other governments, including a main one, the United States government. Well, if a company wants to go IPO, which Ripple has said for some time they want to do that after this SEC case is cleared up, is going to try to put their best foot forward. And by doing that, they just came out a couple of days ago and said they want to be carbon neutral by 2030. And they put out in the announcement and went over a couple of things that they're going to try to do. So basically anything that they do with their offices, their employees, their vendors, they're only going to be using resources that are carbon neutral. In my opinion, I don't know if that's 100% possible, but that's what they state that they're going after. This is going to put them in a really positive light, especially for a lot of investors where nowadays going green is still big. Ask Elon Musk and Tesla. That's one of the biggest parts of his selling point. In fact, that's one of the biggest parts where he gets his grant money from the United States government, is by going after these things. So at this point, I wouldn't call it a conspiracy theory, but Ripple saying these things that they want to be carbon neutral, putting out all the information that they have been over the past couple of months, basically comparing themselves to Bitcoin and how they use so much less electricity and resources, because what that is ultimately doing is putting themselves in the best possible light for investors and the United States government. Well, the United States government is now exploring the use of putting out their own central bank digital currency, CBDC. Now, they're not the first to do this, but of course, this would be a massive, massive PR push if Ripple could actually get the United States government on board to use XRP as their bridge currency for these CBDC. Now, if you hold XRP, you probably know a lot about that already, but in my opinion, this is just them kind of shaping up best foot forward look for when they actually go IPO. Now, that's going to help Ripple, of course, but it's also going to help XRP. It's going to get XRP as much exposure as possible, especially once the SEC case ends. And not only that, it may actually be shaping up in terms of a perfect storm of good things happening for XRP, because if we look at right now, there are now major players in the crypto market saying that the rest of this bull run, or essentially what they're calling a super cycle, is really about to ramp up. So Dan Held, who is a major player in the crypto space, he's actually the one that coined the term supercycle. He was recently in an interview stating that he believes that Bitcoin is going to go up about 500% in the next 4 to 8 months, possibly 12 months. Now, he has a lot of reasons for that. He talked a lot about institutional money really starting to come back into it. All the people that have been buying Bitcoin in the last month or two have been institutional buyers and long-term buyers that are basically building up their positions, i.e. Michael Saylor. And it's not necessarily the new Bitcoin buyers or the new wallets that are just buying Bitcoin now. It's people that are essentially buying the dip. Even though XRP and Bitcoin holders aren't exactly the best of friends, you still have to admit, at least in my opinion, that this market is still driven by the price of Bitcoin. Not completely, not near as much as it was in 2017, 2018, but it still is. Now, Charles Hoskinson, who is actually the founder of Cardano, which right now is kind of the darling of what could be the rest of the super cycle in terms of some people think they could actually give Ethereum a run for their money in terms of being one of the top smart contract players out there. And if you look at a lot of technical analysts and trading videos, there's a lot of people that are saying that Cardano could be the one to invest into if you're looking for like a 40 or 50x by the end of the year. You get the idea. But the founder of Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, he was actually on record by stating that at some point in the next 10 years, that crypto will basically overtake the entire financial system. And he's not alone. In fact, he's actually kind of joining a choir of people saying this. Now, Max Keiser, if you don't know who Max Keiser is, he's probably one of the biggest Bitcoin maxis, as they're known, basically says that Bitcoin is going to be worth, millions and millions of dollars. And he says that by June 4th, Bitcoin is going to see an all-time high. And he actually just tweeted that out several days ago. So he thinks within the next week that Bitcoin is going to peak over 65,000. That's going to be quite a run if it actually happens. And some people are saying that they think it could happen, but not by June 4th. It's most likely going to take a couple of more months. So if all these things actually shape up into essentially what could be the perfect storm for XRP, which is a win against the SEC, which is Ripple going IPO and getting tons of public exposure, and in terms of putting their best foot forward, being carbon neutral, XRP could be one of the biggest beneficiaries of the remainder of this year's super cycle, should that actually happen. Okay, so in this SEC case, this latest motion that was denied by Judge Netburn could be the biggest one of the entire case so far. So this motion was actually, the SEC basically told Ripple that they have to produce a bunch of documents that they claim Ripple received outside legal counsel back in 2012, 2013 from other outside legal counsel. The SEC wanted to see those documents. And Ripple fought back and said, well, no, we don't have to produce them because that's our legal counsel. It's attorney-client privilege. We don't have to produce those documents. And the only way that the SEC could have gotten their hands on them was if Ripple actually sent those documents to potential investors while they were trying to make a deal. Well, apparently that didn't happen because the judge saw in Ripple's favor and said motion denied. The SEC cannot have Ripple turn over all their documents that they got, all the legal advice that they received back in 2012. Now, this is a major, major blow to the SEC's case, a major blow to what they were trying to tear down, which is Ripple's fair notice defense, because it's looking right now like this will actually stand. So, of course, we saw this come out Sunday morning, this news that the motion was denied, and all the videos that I've seen since then are really ramping up speculation that a settlement is coming. Now, James Filan, who's an outside legal counsel, really following this case and giving out all the documents that he finds on Twitter, has said this is a huge blow. And he doesn't typically say those kinds of things because he's really pointing to the fact that this one was one of the things that the SEC really needed in order to fight against the fair notice defense of Ripple. Now, Jeremy Hogan, who's another outside attorney following this on Twitter, he was asked if this is going to give Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, the regulatory clarity that they've been looking for. And his answer was simply yes. Now, in my opinion, I think Ripple would be happy to just get out of this case with the SEC, especially if they win with the fair notice defense, because that would essentially be the regulatory clarity that they need, is that there wasn't a case good enough to actually win. So therefore, what they were doing was perfectly fine all along. So let me know in the comment section below if you think a super cycle is coming, because if it is, in my opinion, there's a handful of coins that are really, really going to absolutely take off. And if for some reason Bitcoin at 6, 7, even 10x's by the end of the year, there's going to be a few more coins that are going to far surpass that. XRP, in my opinion, probably going to be one of them. Now, a lot of people are thinking Cardano could be one of those 40 to 50x coins. Do you think that XRP is going to hit that 40 to 50x if the super cycle actually takes place? Let me know in the comment section below. And like I said, if you're new to this channel and you want to follow along with the rest of this SEC case and all these developments, make sure you're subscribed and have that bell notification icon clicked. That way you'll be notified. Once again, thanks for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys on the next video.